Hello everyone, and welcome to Rock Studios. I'm Stan Miller. I'm PR and Analyst Relations Manager for Rockwell Automation in the EMEA region. And I'm joined today by Paul Murray. Paul is Managing Director, Industry X, Manufacturing Supply Chain at Accenture. Paul, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Stan. It's great to be here. Excited to be at Automation Fair, see all the innovation and new technologies that are going on. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. So Paul, today we're here to talk about driving digital excellence in life sciences and the role of manufacturing execution systems in the new era. It's a great topic, but before we get into it, could you just give us a very brief description about Accenture and, of course, Industry X?
Sure, of course. So Accenture, we're a global professional services company. We provide a wide range of services across strategy, consulting, digital and technology, and operations. I sit in Industry X, which is our service which helps companies digitally reinvent their core operations through advanced technologies to transform how they design and manufacture and service products.
Excellent context, thank you for that. Let's get into the topic. What are the most pressing challenges that life science manufacturers are facing, and how can an MES help them solve some of those challenges?
I think one of the biggest challenges is flexibility and agility. If we look at the industry, the amount of new product introductions that are coming in has increased rapidly over the years, and also the complexity has increased hugely as well. If we look back 20 years, the biggest selling drug, the molecule, was about 100, 150 atoms. If we look at the biologics which are on the market now, they're 10 to 20,000 atoms, so the complexity has gone up hugely. Also cost pressures and pricing from governments are a key issue and a challenge, and supply chain resiliency as well as greater regulatory standards. If we look at how can MES help those, I think in the first instance around the new product introductions, standardization and harmonization are key. We design around the process and we parameterize that as much as we can to enable rapid tech transfer. If we look at MES as well, it will help reduce waste and drive efficiencies. It will help reduce WIP, which has a huge cost impact. It also has a sustainability impact as well, because a lot of these products are kept under cold storage, so it has a big impact there as well. And for compliance, obviously it drives right first time manufacturing. It enforces the right people, correctly trained at doing the right tasks in the right order. It has a full audit trail, so you have full traceability as to what went on there. And also for collecting data, it also enforces data integrity by integration down to the shop floor to the OT systems.
You've outlined a lot of valuable outcomes there. Let's talk about how MES platforms can integrate into broader digital ecosystems, whether that's ERP or QMS. How can they do that to enable visibility and enhance control?
Well, I think it is key for that visibility and control, but I think before you start going there, you need to look at what systems are doing what function, so don't overcomplicate the architecture there. So use the standards like the S95 standard to define what system should do what job and what should be the information exchange between them. Clearly the interfaces add value, so if you look at MES and ERP, you can track real-time inventory, work in progress, and cost of the product as it goes down the line. If you then go to the OT part of it, then again you can get key performance metrics into your MES, as well as addressing the issues like data integrity, which I mentioned previously. But I think from an overall architecture point of view, traditionally what we would have seen would have been very rigid point-to-point connectivity. We've seen a move away from that now to a decoupled data fabric using middleware instead. That allows us a lot more flexibility, especially when it comes to things like upgrading systems. The dependency on one from the other is much simplified compared to what it would have been in the past.
So, production models are certainly changing. Smaller batch sizes perhaps is one example. How should MES evolve to support these different production models? What's your perspective on that?
So I think when you look at the smaller batches, I think simplicity is the key here. So take standard out-of-the-box functionality. Don't customize functionally. That will just add time and complexity to what you want to do. So that will then enable rapid configuration of your workflows. I think where you can, although there is variability within these workflows, there's also a lot of commonality. So can you have building blocks which you can then plug and play for rapid configuration? Can you validate them up front? So again, you reduce the effort that's required there. But I think the overall concept that I would say is take an MVP or a minimal viable product approach. Don't overcomplicate it, only what we need in there and keep it at that level.
It's great insight. What strategies can manufacturers adopt to harmonize quality and processes through MES, whether that's reducing silos or accelerating product release?
I think it's around standard global processes, and I think this goes a bit broader than MES as well. So take ERP for example, so standardize your recipe structures in there, standardize your BOMs. They then come down to MES and facilitate the standardization at that level there as well. Again, lean out your MES, only have what's needed in there. And again, design, as I said before, around the process, not the product, so you can then parameterize and do that much more effectively. Also apply governance around this as well with the business. These are not just like IT or technical projects, they involve the business, so make sure you have the right stakeholders in there who can help the adoption of this and help enforce and govern the approach that you take here. And I think one thing that we quite often overlook here, this can transform the way of working, and I think the whole OCM aspect of it as well is something that we really need to consider and make sure we educate and we bring people along that journey as well.
Absolutely critical. Let's spin it forward a bit. Looking ahead, what emerging technologies, whether it's AI, digital twins, predictive analytics, what's going to most significantly enhance MES capabilities, specifically for life sciences?
I think the predictability is a big one. I think at the moment the industry tends to be quite reactive as opposed to proactive. And when you look at the value of some of the products that are involved here, if you can use AI to look at the data that we've got historically and then look at it in real time to tell us is something going amiss, and how can we then course correct on that particular issue, I think is going to be very, very valuable. I still think you might have a human in the loop there to make the final GMP decision, but it will give us that heads up much more effectively that we need to go in and do something. I think things like digital twins as well, if I look at my experience in the industry, and again, especially in the high value end in the biologics, you can see quite a variance in terms of the yield that comes out, even with the same product across different plants. So how can we use that to figure out where are the issues there, what's causing that variability? And if we can fix that, I've seen examples of where clients have built new facilities to meet market demand, but if you can get more out of what you already have, then you may avoid a lot of that capital cost as well. So I think those are going to be real game changers there going forward with these technologies.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today, talking about such exciting technologies in such an important industry. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
My pleasure, thank you.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about industrial automation and digital transformation, the future of industrial operations, visit rockwellautomation.com.